topics at ease. So today is the third episode of Research PYQ. So let's start. The first question is holistic method is an adoption of communication research from which method? From which method the adoption of communication research came? The right answer will be anthropology. All right. So the next question goes like type of research, cross sectional or longitudinal. This question is from type of research, cross sectional or longitudinal, and the question states that when data are collected from the research participants at a single point of time or for a brief period in diverse setting, this study is described as. So this is again from cross sectional study. So as far as WB set is concerned, we can say that the type of research, cross sectional and longitudinal, they are constantly repeating this part. So the correct answer will be cross sectional study. The third question is from variables, or you can say variables or scales. Here it is asked that in which of these scales 0 has absolute and natural value. In which of these scales 0 has absolute or natural value? The right answer will be ratio, as in the Neuer class we have discussed. So the right answer will be ratio scale. Now this particular question, it's a star question because it is being repeated in WB sets many times. Say duplicating only the sampling and experimental procedures of a previous analysis. As far as duplicating a sample and experimental procedure of a previous analysis is called operational replication. It is known as operational replications. Then we have the next question is interview. This question is from interview part. All right. This question is from interview, that structure interview, whether now we can divide interview into many parts. As you can see, let me show you at first. So interview view can be structured interview, that means predetermined. It can be unstructured interview, that is greater flexibility approach. And the third is focused interview. It means attention on the question to be answered. And clinical interviews are individual life experience. All right. So from this we can go to this particular question. It's stating that it's a match the following question. All right. So they are stating that structured interview, they are stating unstructured interview, they are stating focused interview. So as we have discussed the types, this is a must know portion. Structured interview means predetermined, unstructured means flexibility, focused means the attention one, and the clinical means the individual life experience. So now moving on to the next question, which is content analysis. All right, content analysis. This question is being asked from content analysis part, and what they are stating, identify the correct sequence of research in content analysis. So this is from a direct question from content analysis. Now they are stating the correct sequence order of content analysis. So in content analysis, first of all, we need to categorize the unit of analysis. Then we must subject categorize, first of all unit analysis, then we must subject the categories, then coding, then data analysis. Coding means how we will be arranging that content study. Content analysis means we are studying some content, we are researching about some content. So here we have to identify the sequence which states that unit of analysis, subject categories, and coding, data analysis. Next question is from error. All right, the hypothetical error, and in statistical error we have this question. This question states that the discrepancies between the estimate and the population parameter is known as. What is this question asked? This question is asked from errors. The discrepancies between the estimate and the population parameter is known as sampling error. Why sampling error? Because it's the discrepancies, it's the difference, it's the problem in estimate and population parameter. All right. In next question, this is from research type. All right, research type, and in this question is being asked in 2023 general paper. Which of the following type of research depends least on empirical phases? Empirical means we are going to the group. Ethnographic, empirical research, we have talked about these types of research. So as far as this, they are asking which of the following type of research depend least List means ekdom sabse kam, the least on empirical phases, that's philosophical research. Next question we have the list of population element from which the sample is drawn. This question is directly from sampling. So in the class sampling class we have discussed this. The list of population element from which the sample is drawn is called sampling framing. All right. Now the next question is for social scientific research method. The use of social scientific research method in journalism is known as precise journalism. So this is called precise journalism. The use of social scientific research methods in journalism is known as precise journalism. Next what we have, next we have ethnography type. This, as you can see, ethnography is repeatedly ethnography, the type of ethnography is repeatedly asking in the examination. As far as examination is concerned, ethnography is a repeated concept. So in this particular question we can see that indicate the correct process of digital ethnographic research project. Just a minute, let me adjust first. I think it's clear now. Okay, all right. So what they are stating? They are stating that identify the correct process of a digital ethnography research project. The right chronology will be, the right process will be, first of all we have to design, then we have to recruit, after that we have to identify the field, after designing, after recruiting and after identifying the field, then we have moderate, and after moderate we have analyze. All right, now coming to the next question, which is from deductive and inductive approach. This is also pretty common. Inferring about the whole population on the basis of the observation made on a smaller part of the population is called inductive. So remember DGP, deductive, general to particular, and the opposite is inductive. Now we have another question from sampling, which states that a sampling frame is, this is a direct question from sampling frame, so we are giving the right answer. A sampling frame is a list of all units of population from which a sample will be selected. Sampling frame means, sampling frame is a list of all units. Frame, we are framing the samples. As far as the framing is concerned, a list of all units in the population from which a sample will be selected. After that we have ethnography type. So in ethnography type I am discussing the 70th question of 2025 set. So which of the following are the major characteristics of ethnographic research? It is also being directly asked. Extended participation means attitude or policy, and methodological paramistic. So as far as ethnography is concerned, it's extended participation and methodological pragmatism. Now what we have next, we have historical research. This question is directly from historical research part. What is being asked? Which of the following type of autobiographies are used in historical research? Which of the following types of autobiographies are used in historical research? Number 1, comprehensive, and number 2, edited. Historical research is not social and historical research is not third party. Then what we have next? We have attitudes. Attitudes means attitudes and measures by scale that contain 5 or more attitude statements. Attitudes 5 or more, can you remember the attitude scale? In the attitude scale, if you remember the Rickert scale. So here the assertion is that attitudes are measured by scale that contain 5 or more attitude statement, and the reason states that attitude cannot be described by their content and direction. So the right answer will be assertion is true but reasoning is false. Then what next we have? We have sampling. Multi-stage sampling is a type of cluster sampling. In multi-stage sampling is a type of cluster sampling. Then what next we have? We have sampling. We have another question from sampling. What it is being stated? The meaning of randomization. The meaning of randomization is each element of a population has an equal chance to be included in the sample. Second, the selection of individual from population is independent. Third, the method is free from personal bias. Fourth, all of the above. Alright, now we are moving on to the next part of our PYQ series. Here we go. First question, let me adjust my frame at first. Is it visible? Yes, it is absolutely visible. So what we can see is that which of the following abbreviations, remember yesterday we have discussed about abbreviations, so this is also repetitive concept. So in 17 days 10 minutes, I have in approximately 10 minutes we have discussed about research topic, and it is completed in 17 days. So if you can check that particular playlist, then you will be getting a brief idea about what we have discussed in research study. So this particular notes is always based on previous year questions. So from research terminology, from the research abbreviation, we are getting which of the following abbreviation used in footnote and endnotes means the same place. Footnote and endnote, the original answer will be IBID. And what is the test retest reliability research? This is a type of research. Test retest reliability research states that giving the same test to the same group. Test retest research states that giving the same test to the same group several times over a period. Now we have next test in research, ANOVA test, F test, T test. So as far as the analysis observed frequency they are telling about, when it is considered as observed frequency, remember the keyword guys, the observed frequency, then it is chi-square test. All right, then again we are having a question from error. So this question, it is being asked that the standard error in statistical measure of standard error. So how to identify the right answer? So first of all, we will be reading the question. The standard error in statistical measurement, the standard error, option number A, the normal distribution of score around the sample mean. Option number 2 states that the extent to which a sample mean is likely to differ from the population mean. Option C, the clustering of score at each end of the survey scale. And option D states that the degree to which a sample has been accurately satisfied. So next we have the methods of data collection. As far as the methods of data collection is concerned, we can say that which of the following does not come under the method of data collection? Sapital is uncommon. Sapital, let's check what is the meaning of sapital. Just a minute. Sapital means sapital in research, the way we understand and interpret the relationship between things and space. Sapital means the way we understand and interpret the relationship between things and space is known as sapital. Now next what we have a study of a specific population. Its changes over a period of time is known as, this question is again from sample analysis. It is the cohort study or cohort analysis will be the right answer, because specific population, we are talking about a specific population, hence it is cohort analysis. Now next again we are having a question on sampling, that is stated that when a research problem is related to a large heterogeneous population, the most suitable sampling method is stratified sampling. As far as large heterogeneous population is concerned, it will be stratified sampling. Next we have sampling. You are conducting opinion poll selecting people who are walking on the street. So as far as they are taking people on the street, so while people on the streets, then we are having non-probability, because it's not probability. People, when a research problem that we have discussed, now we are conducting opinion poll selecting people who are walking on the street. What type of sampling is this? It's a non-probability sampling. Now the next question is from variables. So the question is stating that which of this is not a feature of an independent variable? Which of this is not a feature of an independent variable? It is an effect and not a cause. Independent variable is an effect and not a cause. Then the next question is method of research. In method of research, what we can see, which method of research consists of Solomon 4 group design? It is experimental. Solomon 4 group design, remember the word Solomon 4 group design means experimental research. Now we are having a question from content analysis again. So it is being asked that the question of content analysis, as you can see, it is being asked that the main issue in using rating scale in content analysis, because rating scale is a subjective part, so the main issue is, that means the main problem is subjectivity. Now this question is from statistical test. So t test, chi square test, correlation. So if we consider t test is comparison of mean of two groups. T-test means comparison of mean of two groups. If we talk about chi-square test, then it will be observed versus expected frequency. Chi-square test is observed versus expected frequency. Now, if we consider about correlation, then we have what is correlation? It is the covariance. And if multiple regression, if we are talking about multiple regression, then it will be prediction. All right, so it was from statistical test. Next we will be talking about what we will be talking about. We will be talking about hypothesis. See, this hypothesis is also a repetitive concept. In which kind of studies framing of hypothesis is required? In which kind of studies framing of hypothesis is required? So original answer will be experimental research. The next question we have from statistics, or it can be said from hypothesis, because one-tailed t-test and two-tailed t-test are associated with, they are asking one-tailed t-test and two-tailed t-test which is associated with hypothesis. We can say that one-tailed t-test and two-tailed t-test are associated with hypothesis. Then what we have next? We have next question from research design. It is being asked that a research conducted 3 experiments with 100 subjects. They are stating, they are giving a situation, a researcher conducted 3 experiments. A researcher conducted simultaneously 3 experiments with 100 subjects, each following uniform research design instead of the experiment with 300 subjects. What is this known as? This is known as replication. So we can expect one question from replication or duplication. All right, the next question what we can see is, it is again from hypothesis or variable, and it is being asked that in hypothesis which of the dependent variable is known as, when we have hypothesis H1, that means newsreader's credibility varies with the change in camera angle, it will be credibility. Then we have research step. In research step, what we can say, in research step we have identify the correct sequence of analyzing a conversation for research. So as far as conservation of research is concerned, we can say initiative, preview, business, feedback and closing remark will be the right answer, because this is the research step where initiative comes at the first, then we preview, then we suggest the business, then feedback, then choosing remark, or it can be closing remark as well. Now we have the next question, that is sampling. In sampling, the sampling again a question is repeated from sampling. So you can see sampling, method of data collection, error, hypothesis, content analysis, these are the frequently asked topic. So sampling, disappropriate stratified sampling may reflect excess representation of a particular stratum. Then we have steps in research. We have another question from steps in research. So what is being asked? Out of the following, which action takes precedence over others by a researcher? It is review of literature. The right answer will be review of literature, because we are reviewing others' work. We are reviewing the previous literary work. So it's literature review. Now what we are telling, we are going to the next question, that is, just a minute, let me adjust the orientation first. I think it's clear. Yeah, it's clear now. Now what is being asked? This question is from communication research. This is from general paper communication research. It's an assertion and reasoning question. There is a lack of enthusiasm among scholars in the subject of communication and journalism to conduct serious in-depth research. Is it true? Because there is a lack of enthusiasm among scholars in the subject of communication and journalism conduct communication conduct serious in-depth research studies, and the reasoning is there is no financial benefit to conduct communication research. They are stating there is no financial benefit. So A is true but R is false. The next we have ethnographic research. So what is being stated that an important principle of ethnographic research is, what is an important principle of ethnographic research? See, ethnographic research is again and again repeating an important. What is an important principle of ethnographic research? Considering culture as a whole system. Next we have human development. So life expectancy index, education index, income index, gender empowerment index, and so on help in computing which of the following? They help computing human development index. So this everything is concerned with human development index. It can be life expectancy index, it can be education index, it can be index, gender empowerment index, and so on. So next what we have which of these is used by in readability research. So Flesch formula is used in readability research. Next question is from variables. So variables or scale, we can see again one question, that is which of the following can be described as a categorical variable? It's region. Okay, region can be categorical variables. Next we have quasi-experimental or ex post facto research. This question is from quasi-experimental or ex post facto research. So it is being asked that in a study a researcher used intact classroom as the experimental and control group by employing. The right answer will be quasi-experimental design. So in quasi-experimental research is such a study that a researcher used when to intact classroom as the experimental and control group. Quasi means half. So as the name suggests, we can say it's quasi-experimental research. In the next question, we have again a question from hypothesis. So in this question, it is given that in this hypothesis, which is the independent variable? So parents' education. Children whose parents are educated are more likely to get better education. It's the present parents' education is the independent variable because it's not dependent, right? So next question is from quasi-experimental research again. So you can see quasi-experimental is again a very vital and frequently asked topic. A quasi-experimental study examines how independent variable present prior to the study in a participants affected a dependent variable is known as. So in ex post facto design, we see a quasi-experiment study examining how independent variable present prior to the study in a participants affecting a dependent variable. Then we have another question from correlation analysis. All right. So this question states that what is the major attribute of correlation analysis? The right answer will be association among variables. In correlation analysis, correlation means we are associating, we are trying to create a relationship among the different variables. Now we are having a repeat question, that is this question is being repeated twice. Directly copy paste question in set. So duplication repeat. So what is it? The in research, duplication of only the sample and experimental procedures of a previous analysis is known as operational replication. Next question, we have content analysis, names in research. What is content analysis? So Bernard Berelson termed the content analysis in communication research. Next we have a question on questionnaire. So as you guys can see, a question being asked from questionnaire. It is said that close-ended question, it's a close-ended question, requires yes, no, agree, disagree answer under multiple choice question. Yes, no, agree, disagree. So a close-ended is a close-ended. Yes, no, obviously it's yes. When it is close-ended, then you are not allowing your recipient to answer properly. So yes, no, it's a close-ended. And the respondent ought not to have any previous to any provision to extend the answer beyond those provided in the question. All right. Now next we have scales. Next we have questions on scales. So what is being asked? So a Likert scale will be used to assess which of the following in research. It's attitude. Likert scale, as far as Likert scale is concerned, we know the right answer will be attitude. Now types of research. Quantitative research is normally theory testing. As far as quantitative research is concerned, it is theory testing. Next we have types of research. Quantitative research is normally theory testing. Next we have sampling. A lottery method is an example of simple random sampling. Whenever we are talking about lottery method, it's simple random sampling, anything might occur. All right, so now this question is from the research approach, the positivism. So positivism in research leads to immense faith in empiricism. So as far as positivism, so we have to learn these keywords from examination point of view. Next what we have a question from learning. Essential learning process, learning by doing. So this is actually from teaching aptitude, but I have given here. So a question is being asked that the method of learning through first-hand experience, when skills, knowledge and experiences are acquired outside the traditional academic classroom setting and may include internship, field trips, field research and service learning project. What is this method known as? It is known as experimental learning. All right, now what we have advertising research, recall testing, the aided recall method, unaided recall method, if you can remember. Then we have this question: what is the name of the research method that tests consumer memories that day after they have seen an advertisement to assess the achievements effectively? It is day after recall test. Next what we have types of research: ex post facto research and quasi experimental research. Ex post facto research means that a research carried out prior, no. A research carried out in the incident, no. A research carried out on keeping in mind the possibilities of the incident, no. Actually ex post facto research means experimental. Ex means old, post facto research. So if we discuss this type of research, if we can discuss, just a minute, I am showing you. If we can discuss the types of research again, then it will be pretty much simpler for us to understand. Research, type of research. We have characteristics, we have philosophies, we have aims and objectives, then various types of research, hypothesis. Here we go. If we consider about the type of research, on the basis of objective, research can be divided. On the basis of objective, we can say research can be divided on descriptive, correlational, exploratory and ex post facto. This is historical only, that is ex post facto and historical, these are the same thing. So what we can see that on the basis of objective, it is descriptive, correlation, ex post facto. On the number of time data is collected, it is cross sectional and longitudinal. Longitudinal can further be divided into panel study, cohort study and retrospective study. Data collection repeatedly from a set of people. Cohort study, a group of people with a shared characteristics. Type of descriptive research, we can say that survey studies, correlational studies, casual comparative studies, retrospective, ex post facto, or it can be prospective. Other parts of descriptive studies is ex post facto, historical. So ex post facto, historical, then we have explanatory, then we have same meaning, analytical research, explanatory research. So on the basis of outcomes, so on so forth. So quick revision tips, types of research. If you being asked that what are the types of research, then you can say it's, if it's qualitative, then we can say CSEED, and if it's quantitative, other than CSEED. Now what is CSEED? CSEED means correlational, surveyed, experimental, ex post facto, descriptive and ethnographic. So if it is CSEED, then we can say that it's a type of research is CSEED, then it is qualitative, and it is other than CSEED, it's quantitative. Then coming back to our part, to our PYQ series of research. Yes, we have discussed this, the ex post facto. Now moving to the last few question of research, as we can see is that probabilistic explanation are weaker than, when we are talking about probabilistic explanations, then it is deductive explanation. Now next we have statistical testing. Double blind test means when the experimenter and subjects are not aware that they are participating in a test. Double blinding means they are not there, they're blind, right? When the experiment and subjects are not aware that they are participating in a test. Standard error means sampling error, this is synonymous. So standard error is also known as sampling error. This particular question is being repeated several times. All right, so standard error is also known as sampling error. Now we have a question from research philosophy. Which branch of philosophy deals with knowledge, its structure? Knowledge means epistemology. If we can give a quick revision to the knowledge part, to the knowledge of research part, then I can show you this particular stuff. Yes, I got it. This is the philosophy of research part. So philosophy of research can broadly be divided into ontology, epistemology and axiology. Ontology means nature of reality, epistemology means knowledge. Onto, nature of reality, episto, knowledge, axio, ethical, onto, nature of reality, episto, knowledge, axio, human value. So coming back to the question, what is being asked, which branch of philosophy deals with knowledge? Epistome knowledge. Okay, all right, very good. Now what we have which brand of philosophy examines issue pertaining to the nature of reality? It is metaphysics. So the wrong answer in answer key, so this is not metaphysics. Nature of reality will be ontology, as we have discussed right now. So this was the series. We have completed entire lecture on what? We have completed entire lecture on research, paper 1 and paper 2. From tomorrow onwards we will be starting communication, unit 1. We have completed unit 10. Now next day we will be together revising communication. All right, thank you for connecting at ease no media, where we discuss media related topics at ease. And I wish one day you will also crack NTA UGC net and I will also NTA UGC net, because कोशिश करने वालों को कभी हार नहीं होते.